Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeline and you're watching Novel Inc. Today I'm here to do the Finally Fall book tag. This tag was created by Alina at Tall Tales and I was tagged by my lovely friend Chelsea at Chelsea Darling Reads to do this. I haven't done a tag in a while and it's quite rainy and gloomy and chilly outside today, so I thought what better time to go ahead and do this fall themed book tag. I also have on some nice fall colors today. I'll leave both the creator and Chelsea down below, and without further ado, let's get into the questions. Number 1, in fall the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. I am going with an interesting answer on this one because it is not a very fall type setting, but it is very vivid and atmospheric. Chelsea will also be very happy about this answer, and the book that I've chosen is Summer of Salt by Katrina Lino. I read this a few months ago as an ARC and absolutely fell in love with this story, and I think a huge part of why I fell in love with this story was the beautifully atmospheric setting. Summer of Salt is set on a fictional small island called By the Sea. By the Sea has all of the markers of a conventional small town plus the, typical beach town vibes, but it also has this magic to it all its own, and Katrina Lino really brings it to life in this story. Summer of Salt contains a lot of fabulous elements and kind of magical things happening, and I thought that the setting and the fabulous elements kind of wove together and went together beautifully and kind of both played off of one another. Normally books like Summer of Salt feel kind of summery and fun, but in this book there's kind of a melancholy tinge over everything throughout the story, and I think that even though it's set during the summer, makes it a really nice autumn read. It's just such a lovely story overall about sisters and magic, and it has a female-female romance, and it's just at its core a story about how women are magical. It's about women with power and the ways in which we use that power to protect the things we love. It has some excellent commentary on rape culture, and I just love this book a lot. Question number 2 is, nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that talks about a heavy topic like loss or grief but has beautiful writing. I want to talk about my favorite book of 2018 so far, and that is A Heart and a Body in the World by Deb Coletti. This is a story about a teenage girl named Annabelle who has survived a really horrific tragedy, and as she's processing the aftermath of this tragedy, she decides to go on a cross-country run across the entire United States from Washington State to Washington, D.C. as a way to kind of process this grief and also to raise awareness for what happened to her. I just couldn't choose any other answer for this question. This is a story about grief, about guilt, about toxic masculinity and the ways in which it breeds violence. It's really about what it means to just be a person. It's a total gut punch, and I sobbed my way through probably 3/4 of this story, but I think at the end of the day it's ultimately really hopeful. It emphasizes the fact and really drives home the fact that while the world is full of people who are awful and terrible and who can just do such atrocious things, it also is full of so many good people, and the people that Annabelle meets along her journey in this book are what serve to make the story hopeful. This was somehow my first Deb Coletti novel, even though she's been writing forever, and her writing was absolutely stunning. Every couple of pages or so, I just would read a passage that totally took my breath away. It's such a hard read, but a necessary one, and I think that it's really beautifully written and beautifully done, and I can just tell that Deb Coletti put so much care into writing this story. I highly, highly suggest that you pick this one up if you haven't already. Question number 3 is, fall is back to school season. Name a nonfiction book that taught you something new. I am gonna go with Teaching to Transgress by Bell Hooks. If you're not familiar with her already, Bell Hooks is a very prolific feminist writer and thinker, and this is her book all about education. I, as you can see, have this tabbed. If you didn't know, fun fact, I studied music education in college, and I think that this book influenced a lot of my teaching practice and a lot of my philosophies about education. And though I'm not currently working in the education field, nor do I have any desire to be currently working in that field, I think that this beautifully combines intersectional feminism and social justice with education and shows how all of those things are irrevocably intertwined. And like I say, I think this influenced a lot of my own teaching practice, and I highly recommend it. Even if you're not someone who's interested in being a teacher necessarily, I think that it's a good read for activists of all kinds and anyone who's kind of dealing with the public. Yeah, this is great. All of Bell Hooks' writing is great, but this in particular has shaped a lot of my thinking. Question number 4, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with people who we love. Name a fictional household, friend group, or family group that you'd love to be a part of. I have to have to go with the friend group in one of my all-time favorite books, and that is The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord. Don't talk about my love for this book nearly enough, but like this is one of the books of my heart, and it's one of my top 5 favorite books of all time ever. The friend group in this book is so wonderful, and I think that Emery Lord really excels at writing friendships, and especially at writing female friendships, and just all of the ladies in this book are so supportive of one another, and their friendship feels so real, and I find that it feels like as big of a part in the main character's life as her romantic interest is, which is rare to see in YA fiction. Like, even if you have a really great friend group, not often do they play as big or bigger of a part than the romantic plotline, but in this book they really do. Their whole friend group is just wonderful. It reminds me a lot of my friend group in high school, but like a way cooler version. I don't know. Like I said, this book is literally a piece of my heart. Like I love it so much, and if you're a YA contemporary fan, you have to read this. You have to. It's just the best. The best. Question number 5 deals with showing you a pile of fall colored spines, but I just don't have the patience to go to my bookshelf right now and hunt for all of my like red and orange and yellow and brown books and then like put them all back later. Yeah, I don't think that you guys would really gain any new knowledge about me or my reading taste from me answering this question, so I'm just gonna skip this. Question number 6, fall is the perfect time for storytelling by the fireside. Share a book in which someone is telling a story. I want to go with one of my underrated faves for this question, and that is Everything Must Go by Jenny Fran Davis. I read an arc of this quite a while back, and it's one of my favorite contemporaries that I've read in the past few years. I think that it's so unique and witty and fun. In Everything Must Go, we're following our main character Flora, and the whole book is told through Flora's diary entries and letters and emails and things like that, all from this one year that she went to this private Quaker boarding school in upstate New York. Told through all the documents that she assembled during that year of her life, and sometimes, like present day, Flora will kind of make asides as to what's happening, but on the whole, this is an epistolary novel. Again, it's just so smart and witty and feminist, and the format is very well done. Flora as a main character is my favorite kind of YA protagonist. She's probably what a lot of people would consider an unlikable female protagonist, but I love her, and I just love this book, and I think that more people need to read it. I know that the audiobook is up on Hoopla, so if your library uses Hoopla, you should definitely check this one out. Question number 7 is The Nights Are Getting Darker. Share a dark, creepy read. I have to go with the book that I have talked about ad nauseum for the past couple of weeks. That is Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. I'm not gonna go too into it here, but this book is so magical and atmospheric, and it has all of the creepy, spooky fall vibes that you could want from a book. So Strange Grace is set in this village called Three Graces, where centuries ago the villagers made a deal with the devil to every 7 years sacrifice that town's best boy to the forest in exchange for prosperity for 7 more years. At the beginning of Strange Grace, something with the bargain begins to go wrong, and the forest demands a sacrifice after 3 years instead of the usual 7. So we follow 3 main characters in this book. All 3 of them feel like they have something to prove, so they all end up heading into the forest to kind of try and figure out what's happening with the bargain and why it's going wrong. We have this creepy forest, we have a devil who lives in the forest, we have Mare, who's the Grace Witch, and all of these kind of witchy things happening. Just so good, and I think that no amount of me explaining it is going to do it justice, so you should just go ahead and pick it up. Also, it features an amazing polyamorous romance that I just adore. Question number 8 is The Days Are Getting Colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's day. I have to go with The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. Any of Becky's books could work for this, in my humble opinion, but Upside is my personal favorite of them. I know this is kind of a cliche answer, but as I was looking at my bookshelves, I just couldn't think of any other book that made me as happy as Becky's books do. I know her books get mixed reviews sometimes, but I think she just excels at writing the teenage experience, and I just feel all of the feelings along with her protagonists. I particularly love Molly, our protagonist in this book. She is very similar to me in a lot of ways. What a cute romance, what a cute book. I love it. I love it so much. I can never keep the smile off my face while I'm reading or rereading her books. Question number 9 is Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. I'm currently returning to one of my OG favorites, which is the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare for #Infernal Reread, which is happening all this month in November. I'll leave the video for that linked up in the cards in case you missed it. I'm co-hosting a reread along of the Infernal Devices trilogy this month with my friends Jane and Chandler. It's been really fun so far, and I think it's going to continue to be really fun. But aside from that, another favorite that I'm hoping to revisit either by the end of this year or very early next year is The Archived by Victoria Schwab, also The Unbound, which is the sequel to this. I read The Archived when I first started watching BookTube, which was in 2012, 2013. So it's been quite a while since I read this. I was still in high school when I read this. This was actually the first Victoria Schwab book that I ever read, and I want to see, now that I've read the rest of her catalog and now that she's released so much other stuff, I want to go back and reread this and see kind of how it measures up to her other books for me. Yeah, I just think that'd be really interesting, and I'm curious to see if and how my thoughts on this one have changed since I first read it over 5 years ago. Question 10, fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share some of your favorite cozy reading accessories. So I'm currently using one of my favorites. This mug is from the bookstore Books Are Magic, which is a bookstore in Brooklyn, New York. And this is just such a nice mug because it's a great size. It's kind of a larger mug, so you can have like a larger quantity of like coffee or tea in here. It's like this beautiful marbled pink color. I don't know, I just love this mug. It's been a favorite. I have way too many mugs already, but this has been my favorite lately. Another favorite is what I'm drinking in this mug. I'm drinking some coffee, and you guys don't even know how much this cup of coffee is needed this afternoon. But this particular coffee I am a really big fan of. It's from a brand called Quill's Coffee, and this is their Inkwell Signature Blend, and it has notes of cane sugar, cherry, and vanilla. It's just such a nice basic coffee blend. I brew this one in my maca pot, my little like espresso pot, stovetop pot, I don't know what you call it, and it just makes such a good cup of coffee. I'm like amazed, and I drink my coffee usually with no add-ins, and it's just so good by itself. I actually got this from a really cool website called Trade Coffee Co. I do have a code with them, but I'm not like affiliated with them. This is not like sponsored or anything, but all of the coffee that I've gotten from them has just been amazing. They partner with like small coffee roasteries around the US to like be a marketplace for all of these different roasteries, so it's really easy to find what you're looking for, and like they have this little questionnaire that you answer when you sign up. And sorry, a hawk just landed outside my window and I like am freaking out. I hate birds and this is really scaring me. Oh my god, he's staring at me. Okay, I'm gonna try to ignore this big ass bird outside my window, but yeah, this coffee is amazing. Trade Coffee Co is amazing. Again, I have a code down below where you can get 50% off any bag of coffee under $25, but I'm not like sponsored by them. I just really like their coffee. Another favorite is candles. So as you can see behind me there, I have a candle burning right now. My essential oil diffuser, which is right next to it, is usually going during the day if I'm at home during the day, but on gloomy days like today, and especially at night and in the evenings, I love lighting candles in my room because they just make it feel so cozy. My favorite kind of fall scent is this one. It's from my friend Shannon's candle shop, Canterbury Road Co. I've been a fan of her candles forever, and in my opinion, her candles are my favorite bookish candles. This one is a great fall scent. Like I said, this is the Book Sommelier candle. So it's a complex and oaky fiction paired with a smooth red. So it smells like red wine and like a little hint of like wood or like amber or something. It's really great. I really like this scent a lot. Again, I just like really highly recommend Shannon's candles in general. Right now I have Hate to Love Romance burning, but all of her candles are amazing. This one in particular is just a really good fall scent. Question 11 is to spread the autumn love and tag some people. Now I did a cursory search on these people's channels to see if they've already done this tag. So if I just like am dumb and totally missed it, then disregard. But the people I'm gonna tag are Lindsay from Lindsay Reads, Chandler from Chandler Ainsley, and Sophie from Sophisticated Books. Sophie, I know it's not fall in Argentina right now where you are, but I just like wanted to tag you. So anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, all of my social media links will be linked down below so that we can be friends. And I'd love to know also in the comments what your favorite go-to autumn read is. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you soon in another one. Bye!